All right, folks, here we are. Reveal number 800. Can't believe we've gone through 800 rolls plus bags and special reveals. Probably altogether close to 900. Amazing. Anyhow, here we are. This is a 1958D roll. This one is in one of the pipe bomb tubes, so we call it. These coins look very nice, but there is no way of telling without opening the roll, and I have not yet opened this roll. So that's what I'm working on doing right now. I've got one cap almost off. They're not extremely easy to open, but they're also not difficult or complicated. You just have to get both of the caps off of them, both ends, and then you get on a hard surface and just start tapping the roll on that hard surface, and these coins will start to lean over and fall out. And that is what does it. Hello, Kevin Hawthorne. Good afternoon to you, sir. There we go. Got him starting. These are some really nice looking coins. There we go. Wow, some of these things look like graters. They are pretty. Alright, got them all in order. Set them out up here ready for me to go through them. Every coin fell out. No problems. I always do this on a wooden desk as well, or a wooden surface, because a wooden surface is much less likely to scratch and scar coins than metal surfaces or stone. Alright, here we go. Coin number 1 for Kurt. Here is Kurt's coin number 1. Alright, very bright luster. I'm going to have to turn my light down some. Kill some of that over luster. Get it in a little better focus, and we'll be ready to kill this roll. Hello, Frank McCain. How are you, sir? Got some concentric die scratches up in Trust. In God We Trust on this. That'll help us determine that we have seen this die before. No doubling in Liberty. I'm going to check the first few coins on the reverse. Not promising anything at all. Okay, so we've got a long diagonal die scratch below the 1 that is parallel to the front of the vest. Alright. Let's check these reverses. For some reason, I'm having obverse to reverse focus issues for some reason. I don't know. We'll see. We'll work to get around it. Nothing there. Alright. Kurt, coin number 1. Nothing there. Oh. I had one coin still in the end cap. I was going to end up with 49 coins until that happened. Dan, coin number 2. Let's see what Mr. Dan has. Coin number 2. Very close mint mark. It's just got that master die doubling that shows on the top of the 8. Very common stuff. May have just a little bit of a split in the upper serif on this one, but it's not going to be enough to call the shot. I'm also very careful to watch the bottom of Liberty for doubling, as there is one known. out there somewhere. Let's look at the reverse on this one. See if we run into anything here. NASA. Cap coin trying to keep from being counted. Doesn't want to move. It wants to stay here. Coin number 3, Sissy. I think she has... No, it's not. It might be the same die. Let's look. Okay, so this one's got up and down, north and south. I call it up and down sometimes. Die scratches between the 1 and the 9 of the date. And I think it is the same die as previous. We've got concentric die scratches on the lower bust. Check the eye here. Nothing in the eye. We've got nothing in God we trust, and nothing on liberty. All right, let me flip it over. Take a look at the other side. Hello, Richard. Good afternoon to you, sir. Is it still morning there? It is. Still morning on the West Coast. Okay, nothing there. Coin number 3. Coin number 4, Tim Morrell. Man, I am having focus issues today. Can't seem to keep anything focused straight up. Okay, a different die again. This one has a die scratch paralleling the front of the vest inside the first fold of the vest. According to your coffee cup, it's still morning. Well, we all tend to go by a clock, and a coffee clock sounds like a good clock to me. All right, nothing there. Let's check the reverse. I have never found anything on the reverse side of a 1958D other than minor struck through errors, things like that. I'm still looking for a 58D Memorial reverse. No, they don't exist. But I'm still looking for one. Is this an RPM? Could it be? It is, but it's really minor. Let me jump in close here. It is there. So we'll call that our first possible RPM. You can see it on the lower serif across the bottom a little bit. You can also see it right up here where the two vertical posts overlap one another. So it is a minor RPM. Cannot tell you yet which one. That's going to be something Mr. Eric will figure out. He is the master processor of these reveals. He is quite good at what he does and getting better with practice. Jefferson Zeeley, hello, how you doing, buddy? Let's see. All right. Well, that's for Mickey. So Mickey's going to get a little RPM out of it. Number 6 now, Taco John. Let's see what Taco John gets. Looks like Taco John's got one of those ones where the D is really close to the 9. So another die we've seen before. A little bit of blotching on the reverse here. Mr. Valley. just as I start getting used to your actual usernames, they're going to bring back the aliases. They're going to figure out a way to get around the problems of people creating copy aliases. They should have figured that one out a long, long time ago. But it is what it is, and we live with it as it is. Because, well, we're not YouTube programmers. We're not those members of the Goggles family that makes a lot of money poking buttons on computers to make social media. We're just kind of sitting around watching. Here's a reverse on coin number 7 for Maxwell, Adventures with Maxwell. Nothing there. I can't complain today. I woke up. I'm upright, taking nourishment, losing a little bit of weight, which is always a good thing. There's another one of those. So that one's not going to have anything of special interest. We already know. Seen this die pair before. I feel like I'm beginning to accomplish something. How's the puppy? Oh, he's over here in the chair schnoozing. This was an ender right here at one point in time. So these were taken out of probably fed rolls and put into double end caps or pipe bomb caps. And they've been tubed up for many, many, many years. A lot of times these were taken out of paper back in the earlier days because collectors believe that looks like a little bit of dye rust right there. Rusty dyes. But the collectors believed back then that taking coins out of paper and putting them in tubes was a good idea, because the paper was blamed for turning the coins. It's actually quite the opposite, because the tubes were often crap tubes and they were stored in a moist environment, and tubes trap moisture and cause all kinds of issues. Okay, this is another one of those ones with the D really close to the 9. I think we've got 2 different stages of that going on here. All right. Moving right along, Kurt gets coin number 11. Number 11. Another one of those. In case anybody's missed it, I want to be sure you know about it. We're going to have the inaugural premiere show of Waffles with Syrup this evening. It's going to be a coin waffle with a boost where nobody loses. You just don't win as well as someone else if you are not the winner. Somebody walks away with a great prize. Everyone else walks away with something satisfying like a door prize that's worth pretty much what you put into it. Here's Sureg. Well, it is a different die, but it's not a die variety. What about butter? You bring your own butter. BYOB. I like butter. I like syrup too. Well, I haven't had syrup in probably 4 or 5 months. I stay away from it most of the time. Well, because it likes to tear up my blood sugar. Likes to mess with my pancreas. Taco John. Oh, look at that. Nice earlier die state coin there. That's pretty. That's going to show us everything it has, whatever it has. And how about goose egg? Absolutely nothing at all. The buy-in is different per game. The first game is going to be a 1955 machine wrapped roll. Oh, looky there. Nice little RPM. I like it. We're going to stick that one in the RPM pile. This one's got a little spottiness going on. This might have been the other end of the roll. This one's for Shinbone. It was an ender because one side is toned and the other side is bright red. So this first game is going to be a 1955 machine wrapped roll. Hey, look at that. There's another nice RPM. We're getting off to a wonderful start here. All right, this is awesome right here. And so everybody will pay in $10. There'll be 10 spots. Only 10 spots available. $10 a piece. And 9 out of the 10 people will get a BU PDS set of 1955 Lincoln cents. The 10th person to pay in the $10, whomever that might be, everything's picked at complete random. I have no idea who's going to win or what's going to win. Can't even tell you while we're playing the game. I can only tell you as the game ends who has won. But that one person will get a machine-wrapped roll. 1955 Philadelphia Lincoln cents. Chance for the huge double die. Chance for, man, all kinds of stuff. You never know what could be in those. This is it right here. 1955. Sealed on both ends. And that will be $10. Someone will get that for $10. I'm sure if you look around, especially on eBay, for sealed 1955 rolls, you could be looking at $75 or $100 for one of those. Oh, this is horrible. Bag coin. Bad bag coin. God, the other side is just gorgeous. Then you get all those black spots. Whew. Shinbone. Back to the block. Let's see what Shinbone gets. Normal coin. H normal. That's wax. It came from the wrapping paper. $19 nanostacks. Hey, looky there. Another nice RPM. This one's to the south. Wow. Nice roll. You can see it right there and right there. 1958D RPM. Beautiful little RPM going on there. This one's for nanostacks. Sweet. All right. Let me put that in the RPM exhaust pipe. All right, Dan. Dan the man. Where do we go? Regular coin. Looks like it ain't nothing special. Okay. Number 21, Paul Hampton. Pablo, what does Poli Poli get? Yeah, nothing this time around. All right. 22. Pat Seddon. Well, that's a deep subject. There's a die crack from the rim on this one to the VDB. That's pretty cool. What do we have? The date and mint. Well, looks like it's going to turn out to be a normal coin with a die crack on the VDB. It's a pretty 58D though. Man, a lot of these are really nice. Some of them are just horrible, but most of them are really nice. Yeah, and not the die crack, and not an RPM or a doubled die for shiny coin guy. Sorry, John. Coin number 24, Mickey. Let's see if Mickey comes out successful, and he does, I think. Yeah, we've got a minor split upper and lower on this one. Not at first easily visible, but they do show up. We'll have to determine whether or not this one's going to be enough to list, or if it is already listed. We, of course, will give you a reference ID. That's coin number 24, now 25 DC. Yeah, nothing for this one. Nada, nada. Coin number 26 now, Sureg. There's another nice RPM right there. That's pretty. I like these. This one's tilted. And here's what it means to be a tilted mint mark. Watch. Okay, so this right here is laying on top. And it corresponds to this right here, which is laying underneath. Now, this one is laying on top. And it corresponds to this one, which is laying underneath. So what you have are two mint mark punches that were tilted in opposite directions. One tilted up, the other one tilted down. And together they made this combination, which we call a D over D tilted. There's your lesson for today. And now you know the rest of the story. Right, crisscrossing. Tim Morrell up next. Oh, Tim gets one of those. Can't help it, boys and girls. I can't make the whole roll a wiener. This one is a nutting. Also, not a wiener. Yeah, Paul Harvey was one of my favorites. He always had the perfect pause in his sentence. Always said everything, made you sit on the edge of your seat, waiting for the next phrase. He did it on purpose. I do it because, well, I can't seem to think and chew gum at the same time. So, when I'm concentrating on a coin, I don't do a whole lot of talking. Because when that happens, I end up saying things that make no sense at all. Alright, next up. This one's Brad. And Brad gets an RPM. You can see it on that lower serif down there and on the inside of the vertical. This is reminiscent of the first coin that I pulled out as an RPM in this roll. Oh, another one for Brad. Generally, I try not to repeat those one after the other, but sometimes I kind of fall asleep at the wheel and, I don't quite get it right. That's just me proving I'm human, just like all the rest of us. Coin 33 now. It's going to go to Pat Seddon. See if we can get a good RPM for Pat. Well, this must not be his roll. I've always wanted to try the idea of storytelling. Reading books, audiobooks, that sort of thing. I remember at one time I didn't have the lungs for it because I was a smoker. But now that my lungs have mostly repaired themselves over a, what's it been, 11-year period of time. Oh, look at that. Another pretty one. Another pretty one. This one's for Bethel Ann. Party coin for a party lady. Here's one for Trip. Another RPM. This one for Tripwit. This is one with a really minor lower split serif and then that doubling on the inside of the vertical post. Nothing else on this one, as with the others. Number 37, this one's for Alex Warbe. Another nice RPM there for Alex. My compadre from another madre. Got nothing here. That's unfortunately for Mr. Valley. Coin number 39 now. This one's for Brad. Come back to Brad. It's going to be his last coin in the roll. And nada. Bummer. The bummer. Hey, at least we've got a 58D that's producing good stuff. Sometimes 58D rolls, well, they didn't get the memo and put goodies in them for us. But this one had it. A couple of things to announce. The first thing, don't forget that we've got the waffles with syrup this evening. It's going to be coming up at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Copper Coins channel. Nothing to do to prepare for it other than show up. Here's another one from Alex Huarbe. And I've got a normal coin. Sorry, Alex, that's your third and final coin of the day. So that's waffles and syrup this evening at 7 p.m. And then tomorrow we're going to have our regular reveal show. You can buy into reveals for this coming week. And Tuesday will be an auction. Another auction. And in the meantime, I will be working on trying to finalize photographs of all the coins that I have so far selected to go in for grading. And you will be able to take a look at them as they get uploaded. I will have them on a web page where you can click on them to look at them. And when I'm finished with the list, I'm going to I'm going to try to do it in a click game, but I don't know if I can do that. I may just do it with a sheet that you can download and print and mark and send back to me. I'm not exactly sure how I would do it any other way right now, but it will be such that you can send in your guesses of the grades, and the people, one way or another, the people who are closest to the actual grades of the coins will win a prize. Probably be about 4 or 5 people. I'll probably do the top 10%. Top 10% will win something. Number 46 now, going on to DC. This one was an ender. You can see it's a little bit darker in color. Still pretty. Very pretty coin. Yep. See the other side? This is the other side of the same coin. See how bright that is? Bright red on one side and kind of an orangey red on the other side. And that means this coin was oxidized on the obverse to the extent that it changed color slightly. Any original roll, you should find 2 of those in the roll. Doug, coin number 47. And one turns out to be normal. Number 48, Carl. This is another one of the minor lower split serifs with the inside of the D doubled a little. So Carl gets an RPM there. Number 49, Pat Seddon. Oh, there's another one of our nice ones. That's a D over D South. It's got a hit, but this is an uncommon RPM. I'm not sure which one it is, but I do not remember seeing many of them ever. So that's a D over D South there. Very nice one there for Pat Seddon. And Mickey. Mickey trails up the end of the roll here. See what he gets. All normal. Oh, normal. Well, that brings us to the end of our reveals for this week. I do appreciate everybody coming and showing up here. I'll go through and flip these to show you the names of the people who got die varieties in this roll. And there we go. Frank, a lot of that's going to depend on what you're wanting to get graded. I do send in regular grading lots once in a while. There's 3 different ways of grading. One is bulk grading, which only their approved dealers can do. The second is regular coin grading. And the third would be varieties and errors. There are special fees and everything for all that. The reason I separate those is because NGC separates them. And NGC separates them by submission type. And so we would have to discuss what you are wanting to get graded and what you're wanting to do. And I might be able to include you with my submission. We'll see how that works out. All right, folks. I appreciate it. Contact me if you need to. cd@coppercoins.com. I'll talk to you later on. We got about 3 hours before Eric is supposed to come on with his reveal for today. And then we've got coins. We've got the waffles with syrup coming up this evening at 7 o'clock. I'll get it right before we start broadcasting it. I'll talk to you folks later. Have a great day.